Hey there, and welcome to the Contentment Creator Podcast, the show designed especially for creative entrepreneurs just like you who are committed to a beautiful life that's rooted in courage and contentment, and that's blooming with creativity and prosperity. I'm your host, Ellen Broen, a certified life coach, a singer, a mother, and a lover of alliteration, dogs, and deep conversation. This show is designed to become a part of your daily routine to help you, fellow contentment creator, dig deep to clarify your life vision, catalyze your creative flow, and fuel your entrepreneurial fire in just a few inspiring minutes each day. Each Thursday, we talk about consistency, and today's episode is all about aligning your energy with your cycle for your greatest possible flow. Pun intended. Let's talk about something that so many of us were never taught, but has the power to completely change the way we plan, create, parent, and show up in life. It's called cycle planning. Most of us have been conditioned to operate on a linear timeline. Wake up, be productive, push through, repeat. But for those of us who menstruate, our bodies do not operate on a 24-hour schedule like the male hormonal cycle does. We operate on a 28-ish day cycle that mirrors the seasons of the year, with times of high energy, deep reflection, outward connection, and inward retreat. When we align our parenting, social life, and business plans with where we actually are in our cycle, everything feels more sustainable, more easeful, and more aligned. So today we're breaking down each phase of the menstrual cycle, what it's best suited for, and how to leverage it to optimize your work, relationships, and well-being. Just like the earth moves through seasons, so do we. Each phase of our cycle aligns with a different energy, which means different types of tasks, socializing, and self-care will feel more natural at different times. Here's how the 4 phases of the menstrual cycle and their alignment with the seasons break down. Number 1, menstrual phase. This is like our winter, where we rest and reflect. Typically, if you're tracking, it's days 1 through 7, but of course it varies person to person. What's happening is our body is shedding the uterine lining and our hormones are at their lowest, so energy is naturally low. This phase is best suited for reflection, journaling, and visioning. This is where deep rest and self-care are super important. Also, great time to say no to social obligations that drain you. It's important to take things slow in parenting and in home life because less output means more ease. Also, a time of minimal work output. Try to delegate or work on behind-the-scenes planning if possible. So here are a few cycle planning tips for this phase. If possible, lighten your schedule during this phase. Prioritize rest over hustle and lean into deep reflection. This is a powerful time to set intentions for the next cycle. Also, give yourself permission to do the bare minimum in your business and parenting life. This is the time for replenishing you. Number 2, the follicular phase. This is our spring. It's also when we're at our best for creativity and planning. This falls on days 7 to 14, or the time between the end of your period and leading up to ovulation. What's happening is that estrogen and testosterone start to rise, and energy increases. Creativity and motivation naturally spark here. So this time is best suited for brainstorming, planning, and big picture thinking. You can start new projects or new habits during this phase. This is also a great time to re-engage with socializing and networking, and practice more interactive parenting, playing, creating, and doing activities together. Also, great for more engagement in your business, like content creation, ideation, and mapping out strategy. So here are a few cycle planning tips for the follicular phase. This is the best time to initiate new ideas and plan big picture goals for work, family, and creativity. Try saying yes to more networking and collaborations and being more social during this phase. Your confidence is naturally higher right now. Number 3, ovulatory phase. This is our summer and a great time for peak visibility and energy. This falls typically around days 14 to 18, but obviously varies based on cycle length. What's happening during this phase is estrogen and testosterone peak, leading to really high energy, social ease, and magnetic presence. So, this phase is best suited for speaking engagements, selling, and showing up publicly, doing interviews, launches, and client meetings. Also, a great time for hosting events, workshops, or leading group activities. This is also great for more demanding parenting moments, handling tough conversations, planning outings, and just being on with your kids. It's also ideal for socializing with ease. This is the phase where connection feels the most natural. And finally, it's a great time to make bold decisions. Your confidence is naturally at its highest, so use it. A few cycle planning tips. If you have important meetings, pitches, or launches, try scheduling them during this phase when you're naturally at your most charismatic and clear headed. It's also a great time to batch record content, give live talks, and plan social outings. This is not the time to hide away, but rather lean into your momentum. And phase 4, the luteal phase. This is our autumn. And it's a great time for completion and boundaries. This falls typically from days 18 to 28, which lead up to our next menstruation. What's happening here is estrogen is starting to drop and progesterone is starting to rise, building a more inward, reflective energy. This is often when what we call PMS symptoms can show up. So, this period is best suited for wrapping up projects and completing tasks. Decluttering, organizing, and closing loops in the business and home life are amazing to focus on during this time. This is also great for setting boundaries, because this is a phase where our tolerance for nonsense is at its lowest. This is also a great time to slow down our parenting, have some more cozy nights, deeper conversations, and just less go, go, go. And of course, in terms of self-care, this is also ideal for more solitude, more nourishing activities, and just lower energy work. Some cycle planning tips include this is just not the best time for big social engagements or starting new things. Our energy is turning inward. So use this phase to review your progress, clean up loose ends, and clear space before the next cycle begins. If irritation or frustration comes up for you, see it as a sign. Our luteal phase often highlights what's not working in our lives. Now let's bring it all together and imagine if we planned our schedules based on these natural rhythms instead of forcing ourselves to be on all the time. Imagine giving ourselves grace to rest in our winter. Imagine leaning into our creativity in our spring and owning the confidence of our summer. And imagine using our autumn phase to clear out what's not working before we repeat the cycle again. For parenting, plan some high-energy playtime during follicular and ovulatory phases and quiet, cozy connection during luteal and menstruation and menstrual phases. For our social lives, accept invitations during spring and summer and set boundaries during autumn and winter. And for business, launch, sell, and show up publicly in ovulation and plan to complete a bunch of tasks during follicular and luteal phases. So if this resonates with you, just start small. Start tracking your cycle and your energy. Notice how different phases feel. Plan 1 or 2 things in alignment with your cycle. In a world that expects us to be productive every day, honoring and embracing cycle planning is a radical act of self-trust. I personally see it as my own take on F the patriarchy. Instead of forcing ourselves to work against our bodies to fit into a men's world, we can flow with them. Instead of burning out, we can build a sustainable way of living, parenting, and working that actually feels good. Because when we work with our cycles instead of against them, we are more deeply connected to our bodies and needs, we trust our inner guidance more, and we create our own experience of consistency in life. Thank you for being here with me today, and join me here tomorrow when I share with you my secret for creating life-changing breakthroughs over and over again. If you enjoyed today's episode, please show your support by leaving reviews and comments. It would truly mean the world to me to hear from you. And hit that subscribe button so you never miss a day, and join me in my mission to help a world full of content creators become a world of contentment creators.